All right, let's break down one of the biggest social experiments we've ever seen on YouTube. This was a high-stakes competition designed to push the idea of twin telepathy to its absolute breaking point. But honestly, it was way more than just a game. It was a masterclass in strategy, psychology, and, just raw human behavior.
First off, the sheer scale here is just staggering. I want you to picture a room filled with 100, that's right, 100 pairs of identical twins. Right from the get-go, that number alone tells you this is going to be a competition unlike anything else.
And what are they all fighting for? $250,000. Now, that's the kind of money that makes you question everything. Your strategy, who you trust, and yeah, even the incredible bond you have with your own twin. The stakes just could not be higher.
And that's really the central question here, isn't it? This competition, it's not about who looks the most alike. Nope. It's about who can think, act, and survive as a single, perfectly coordinated unit when the pressure is on. The whole game is built right around that one core idea. So, the first phase of this whole thing was all about pure, unfiltered teamwork. These weren't tests of, physical strength or how smart you are in a traditional sense. It was all about how seamlessly two people could operate as one. The first challenge seems simple enough on the surface. Just memorize a sequence of colors. But watch how fast the difficulty escalates. It jumps from just 6 colors to 15, and then to a totally mind-bending 27. This ramp-up isn't just about memory. It's designed to find the absolute breaking point in their communication. And this is what happens when that pressure finally hits. This quote just captures the tension perfectly. The very bond that's supposed to be their biggest strength suddenly becomes a source of serious friction. It's twin versus twin. Okay, challenge number 2 is a straight-up head-to-head elimination. One twin is blindfolded, relying completely on their partner's voice to stack 10 cubes. But here's the kicker. Finishing the stack is only half the battle. That final super shaky walk to the podium, that's where most of these teams just fell apart.
And this is where the game theory really starts to kick in. 2 dominant strategies popped up right away. You had the aggressive stackers who just raced against the clock, and then you had the corner campers who literally did nothing, just betting that their opponents would fail first. It's a fascinating choice, right? Go for the risky, proactive win, or just wait for a passive opportunity. And let me tell you, these synergy tests were brutally effective. By the end of day 1, only 36 pairs were left standing. More than half the competition was just gone, wiped out by these basic tests of communication and teamwork. So the next phase of the game throws in a powerful new ingredient, greed. After testing how well they work together, the game now starts testing their individual character and just how willing they are to gamble at all.
The dilemma is incredibly simple, but man, is it powerful. Take $5,000 right now, but you have a 50-50 shot of going home. Or take nothing and you're guaranteed to move on. It's that classic test of short-term temptation versus that long-term goal.
The results really tell you a lot about the group's mindset. A staggering 89% chose to play it safe, keeping their eyes on that massive grand prize. Only a tiny fraction, just 4 pairs, decided to roll the dice for the quick cash.
And for half of those who gambled, it ended in total disaster. This quote from an eliminated contestant just shows you the immediate, painful fallout of their choice. It wasn't just about losing the game. It was knowing they risked everything for just a fraction of the grand prize.
And right here, the whole dynamic of the game just shifts completely. It's not about twin synergy anymore. It's not about individual greed. Now it's about group psychology, alliances, and the absolutely terrifying power of a mob. So the mechanic is simple. Cooperate by pressing green, and everyone is safe. Or betray the group by pressing red and target another team. This basically creates a prisoner's dilemma, but on a massive scale. If everyone votes green, they all move on. But it only takes one red vote to turn the entire group against each other.
And what happened next was just incredible. You'd think it would be chaos, right? But the group didn't fall apart. Instead, they all unified against a common enemy. The Collins twins, who had been really loud and aggressive, got an overwhelming 26 votes. The group acted like a single organism.
This quote, which was said right after the vote, is honestly chilling. It shows you just how personal the competition had become and the intense relief the rest of the group felt by getting rid of what they saw as a threat. This was social survival of the fittest, plain and simple.
And that brings us to the end game. This is where every single skill they've tested so far, synergy, strategy, social maneuvering, gets thrown into one final high-pressure crucible. The path to that finish line was a rapid-fire gauntlet. First, a reaction test cut the field down to 10 pairs. Then, blindfolded bowling, another synergy test, sliced that group down to just 5. And it all led to the final challenge, a game of pure, unadulterated deception.
So the final challenge is this high-stakes bluffing game. One twin is holding a briefcase with all the money. The others are all empty. Their partners, who have no idea who has the real prize, have to vote someone out based purely on their ability to read a poker face.
In the middle of all this tension, one contestant makes this bold, incredibly confident claim. By just coming out and saying, "I have it," he's basically daring everyone else to call his bluff. It's such a risky move in a game that's all about psychology.
And this is the ultimate twist. The same contestant who made that super bold claim, he was eliminated because his own twin brother voted for him. Can you believe that? In the final, most crucial moment, the one person he should have been able to count on couldn't read his bluff. The so-called twin telepathy completely failed at the worst possible second.
So, after all the synergy tests, the greed gambles, the social warfare, and those final, intense bluffs, what can we actually take away from this? What does it really take to win a competition this insane?
You know, in the end, it really wasn't just about having a strong twin bond. The winners had to navigate this incredibly complex web of challenges that demanded different skills at every single turn. They needed that synergy to survive the early rounds for sure, but then they needed strategic thinking for the midgame and that sharp social awareness to conquer the finale. It just goes to show you, the strongest bond isn't always about being the same. It's about being adaptable.